Stampers, this is Dena from pocketfulofstamps.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to make a really fun card today using our barn door stamp set and the coordinating framelits. There's a lot of fun things you can do with this set, and at the end of this video I'll show you some other things that I did with it as well as the card that we're going to do. The first thing I want to do is cut out my door here. And I have found that the wood textures background paper is perfect for this. Obviously you can use any kind of paper that you want, but I love this paper because it's already got that wood grain and the texture in it, so it works really great. However, this paper is a little bit thinner than our cardstock, so I want to layer it onto another piece of cardstock to give it some weight. And the easiest way to do that is to use this adhesive sheets that we have in the catalog. And these are great because they are self-stick. So I'm just going to peel this off of here and stick it onto a piece of cardstock. You can use any cardstock you want. This is the back of the door, so it's not going to matter. I just used a piece of crumb cake. And then once you get that stuck on there, you can peel the other side and you're going to have some adhesive on there. So then I can stick this down on top of it. And now my paper is going to have some weight to it, so it's going to support that door a little bit better. So now that I have that done, I'm going to stamp the door. And I'm going to use Early Espresso for this. Ink up my image and stamp it just like that. See how you can still see the frame of the door, but you have all that gorgeous wood texture in there? Love that. Okay, now I want to cut that out with my framelit. And actually, I'm going to cut a couple of other pieces here at the same time. So I've got that one. I've got a piece of silver here that I want to cut this is the piece that goes along the top, the slider. And then you've got a couple little pieces of hardware here that you can stick on here. Oops. And a door handle. I'm just cutting this out of the silver foil paper. And then one other thing I want to cut at the same time, I like to do all my pieces as I go and then cut them all at one time. It just makes it a little bit easier. I want to cut out a little wreath here to go on the front. And I already inked up the image, the wreath image with the bow. This is soft suede and berry burst, but I also want to cut out the bow because I'm going to do the bow separately also. So I'm going to ink this up. And I will stamp it here on the side. Okay, now when I cut that out, I'll have two of those. Or I'll have the one on here plus the one I just did. Okay, have all my pieces lined up here. I'm just gonna crank. And have all my pieces cut out. Okay, so I have all my hardware cut out and my door, and I have my wreath pieces cut out. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to cut the slider that is going to have this going to allow the door to slide back and forth, and that is this piece. It's got two grooves here and here. It's awesome because it perfectly cuts the slots where they need to be on the paper. So what you want to do is set your paper or set your slider. You want it to be a little bit lower down here because you want to leave room up here at the top for your bar that's going to go up here at the top. So I'm going to cut this really quick with my Big Shot. Okay, you can see here how when you take this off, you've got those little slots cut out, and that's what's going to allow your door to slide back and forth. Okay, one more thing I want to do with this piece before I put this all together is I'm going to also run it through the Simple Stripes embossing folder. This is my absolute favorite embossing folder. I just feel like it just gives everything a really country look, and I just love that. So I'm going to line this up here and make sure it's all straight, and then run it through the Big Shot. Okay, so there I've got my lines, and you can do this either way, with the lines coming up or with them being indented. I like them indented, so I'm going to leave them like that. Okay, to put this together, I'm going to show you a really fun little trick. When this first came out, everybody was telling us to put these together with washers. It's the washers that make these slide back and forth. But I was watching a video by a demonstrator named Michelle Haney, and she came up with this really ingenious way to use our plastic sheets. And she actually did it with some adhesive strips that were a little bit longer. But I am going to actually take my plastic sheet and just punch out, there's a little 1/2-inch circle, punch this out, and I'm going to punch 8 of them, which is how many washers you would use. This will save you a trip to the hardware store. In fact, I didn't use this set for quite a while because I was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I was, I hadn't gone to the hardware store, so I was really excited when I saw the way Michelle had put this together. All right, so these become like our little washers, and what I'm going to do is on 4 of them, I am going to put a glue dot. I'm sorry, these are not glue dots. These are the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Pull the other side off, and then that is going to actually go right there in between, or on the back side. Well, the dimensional is in the slot, and the plastic is on the back side. You want it to stick to the okay, then you're going to take the other piece, and those are going to stick on top of your glue dot or your Stampin' Dimensional. And where's my other one? Oh, they're clear. They're hard to see. So let me punch another one. Okay, so that's going to be what your door is going to slide on. So now that I have that together, I am going to put a glue dot on the top of each one to stick my door to. And then you can take your door and line it up there. Whoops, you know what? This is upside down. Kind of line those up there so your door's in a good spot. All right, and I'm lining up my door here with the lines to make sure it's nice and straight. But that's going to allow my door to slide back and forth like that. Awesome, isn't it? So let's add our hardware on here. I have my little door handle. And I can put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this. And stick it on my door. Then this piece is going to go along that top edge. And this is purely decorative. This does not actually help your door slide at all. And here again, I like to line that up with one of the lines that's on there to make sure it's real nice and straight. Like that. And then these two pieces are your slider pieces. And these actually I like to stick on with a glue dot as well, because this top part up here is actually going to stick off of the paper. So a glue dot will just hold that on there really good. And they're a little bit wide, so you just bend it over and place that where you want it. And that one is going to go right there. So there we have our little door. Like that. I just love that. I think it's so fun. Oh, we forgot our wreath. Let's put that on there too. A couple of glue dots. And I just did the second one, so it would have a little bit of dimension. Okay, so that's my door. Now let's add the rest of my card here. You can put anything you want behind this door. It comes with some great sentiments to put behind it if you want to. I have seen some really adorable, fun things behind this door. I decided that I was going to use this little Hello Kitty or Pretty Kitty set and use a couple of little images from in here. So I went ahead and did this one ahead of time. I just stamped the little kitty and watercolored it, just peeking in to say hello. And I thought that would be really cute on the other side of my door here. So I will stick that right in here so that when my door is closed, you can't see him, her. She has a pink bow, it's her. Like that. And then when you open it, she'll be there to say hello. All right, I have my card front, and I like to do a card front either the same color or put another piece of paper behind it that's the same color if you want your card front to be a different color. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second with a couple other samples, just so that in these slots you see the same color. I just like the way that looks. You can do it however you want, but that's how I like to do it. This one, because it's the same color, it doesn't matter. And I also like to adhere it with some glue dots because I want to make sure and not smash these up against my card front, because that would make it hard for the door to slide. And I like to put several glue dots on here. If you don't like to use as many, that's okay. And I think I want one more. Well, no, I don't want one right there. I want to make sure. I was going to put one right here, but I think that would get in the way of my little slider here. So I'm not going to put one there. All right. So this then gets attached to the card front. And there I have my little finished card. Like that. I just love this so much. Okay, so I told you I'd show you a couple other ideas using this stamp set. This first one's really traditional. Again, I used the wood grain paper, and I did use the stamps that go in this, that came in this set for this one. And this is what I was talking about with the different color card base. I actually added a piece of the really rust back here behind it so that you don't see the brown through it, you see the rust. This one I did something totally different. This is some new, one of the new choices that you have that you can choose from the celebration. It's some gorgeous paper with metallic images on it, and I colored them in and then use them for the background of my card. And then this last one, this one just was for fun. I was thinking about hobbits the other day for some reason, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cute to cut out our door round, and I put a little hedgehog behind it. So a lot of fun different things you can do with this, a lot of fun things you can put behind that door. Thanks again so much for joining me for this Card Quickie video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my blog at pocketfulofstamps.com. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook. Until next time, happy stamping!